What is up, guys, and welcome back to Coltown. Today we will be playing Graveyard. Oh, if you would like to support me, please use code ColtonW83. And let's get right with it into the deck. If you want to play Graveyard, I recommend this version. It's really fun. That's the biggest thing I think with this deck, though, is I've had like a ton of fun playing it. Prince is really good in the new meta. Road Delivery is still perfectly viable. So I really like this deck, and I think it's really fun to have both poison and freeze. You can use poison to kill units, and you can freeze in tandem with Graveyard or on defense. Of course, having 4 spells makes some of your cycles awkward, but you can kind of cycle Road Delivery if you have to, depending on matchup. Otherwise, sometimes you can just go for a Graveyard freeze, especially if you know their cycle is bad for it. So I just had a really fun, a lot of fun with this deck, and there's a guy top 200 with it. So let's, I want to show some replays. So like here, 3M is typically a counter to Graveyard. Here, I was against an air deck. You have plenty of air defense. Log bait. This matchup was hard. I barely won. Mirror match, she didn't play very well though. Let's go through some replays real quick. We'll do live battles too. But I wanted to show this. I got kind of lucky in this match. He started off with Goblin Barrel. I had a bad hand to deal with it, so we just have the Prince. We can't really do anything about opposite lane. Like, we can't kill Goblin King on their side. I had to drop Roll Recruit because I didn't have another option. Here, I was cycling because I didn't want him to cycle to a Goblin Barrel when I had nothing in hand. Right here, the main reason I froze here was because he had just used log. So when their log's out of cycle, that means their best graveyard counter's not in hand. And then here, I was afraid of taking too much damage if I only played Ice Golem, because I thought the Knight would maybe survive and get hit, so I went Musk, which I think was fine. So right here, my mistake was playing Ice Golem, and I was hovering Roll Delivery. I do it in a second, but I was hovering Roll Delivery to be ready for his Goblin Barrel, and so I ended up cycling Ice Golem to block the Princess, which is not ideal because then you end up playing Hunter too. And now I've played 6 Elixir for a 3 Elixir card, and he can basically just ignore the Hunter, or like he didn't even play that correctly. Like, if he would have played it higher, it would have both killed the Roll Delivery and blocked the Hunter. So yeah, their cycle is a little bit rough for you. Fast cycling decks can be hard matchups for this deck, I would say. And then like here, my cycle was awkward, so I had to freeze to keep the Prince alive and maybe exert some pressure. And right here, as you can see, I don't have a good hand for Goblin Barrel since he threw it back there. My Ice Golem actually doesn't block any goblins at all. But we did do some damage. That was such a it was such a bad rocket by him. I don't know why he did that. Honestly, because no freezing cycle, I wasn't able to punish it that well, which is maybe what he thought. Why he did it, I mean. I honestly should have offensively poisoned really early as I could have. Right here, I was hovering Roll Delivery, so I was able to counter the Goblin Barrel in time. And then I know he can finish soon, so we need to be attacking. But if he attacks like at the bridge here, there's not much I can do. So I just have to, I'm stacking up troops to build a push. And then this is the moment where you ignore the Goblin Barrel and you go all in. Because if I defend, I'm never going to break through. So we go for a freeze. I could have hit the Knight there, so that could have been a little bit better. But that Musketeer does end up barely getting a shot on tower in the last second. I do end up winning the game. So definitely difficult, and I would say a hard matchup, but we're able to win that. Let's quickly go through the 3 Musketeer and the Lava. These are just good matchups to show, and they're pretty diverse. So, all right, we go Hunter. So we go Hunter here because I think it's better to hold Musk, I guess, is what I was thinking. And there's not too much difference. And Hunter's a little bit better against Tombstone was the thought process. He ends up doing that, so I have poison ready. And then we Ice Golem to protect the Musk. Right here, this is where I considered going Graveyard, but I don't think it would have been bad to Graveyard there. But I didn't know what the rest of his deck was yet, and I was scared I was going to give him too much value if I Graveyarded. Like, he could have... you can't really freeze that early on offense, so... And he messed up a little bit here. He didn't let the Heal Spirit take the charge, so that was really nice for me. And this is where my cycle is getting a little bit awkward. So I was considering graveyarding, but I needed to wait to see if he threw must. And right here I ended up freezing. I don't know if it was worth it with a hunter. I think that freeze would have been better if I had had like a musketeer. And this ice one was really nice. It blocked the shot from a right side musk and the left side musks. And then I figured out he has roll hogs. I roll delivery them, which it defends decently. I'm going to take some damage. But now I basically know what his deck is, and so I'm more prepared. And with 3M, as long as you keep somewhat even in elixir, it's hard for them to get damage if you defend well. So here I'm going to Prince at the bridge, and then I graveyard. So the reason being, I didn't want to give him time to set up a 3 musk, and it makes my cycle a little bit more livable. And I knew log wasn't immediately in cycle, and then once he did log, I go for a freeze. The other thing is, like, in double elixir against graveyard, 3M just cycles, they just 3M over and over and over again. You get stuck in this loop where you never have a chance to graveyard. So I wanted to try to catch him off guard and go for a graveyard to take his tower before we got stuck in that loop. And this play was kind of bad by me. I thought they would get held a little bit longer. I mean, it wasn't terrible, right? Maybe I should have poisoned first and then ice golem. Maybe that would have helped. Right here, though, I went for the freeze, and I think it was worth it. If I mess up on anything on that, though, I wanted to reveal the ghost before I froze, so that it would have died a little bit easier without having to play another troop first. But that's kind of nitpicky. It's not really that big of a deal. And then here I had like pre-poison and then dropped roll delivery because I knew he was gonna hogs to try to take tower. Alright, so finally let's do this Lavaloon matchup. A little bit weird, he has a bunch of extra spells, which kind of help him in graveyard defense. If my roll delivery was level 13, okay, because this is a ladder match. I don't think it fully defends against balloon unless you get it to like reset like buggy. So we had a hunter there too. Although I wouldn't have rolled delivery if I had had an air defense and cycle like Musker Hunter. And then here we're just waiting to roll delivery, and we're able to kill all the pups in the mega. So that was good. Right here, I knew that he had arrows out of cycle. So the idea was he had 2 minions, and I didn't know at this time he had log. I don't know why he didn't log. But basically the idea was my cycle's awkward. I want to cycle back to both of my air defenses, and I know he doesn't have a small spell in hand, so he's gonna have to play minions or like any troop really. Like it could have been minion horde for all I care, and I'm just gonna freeze it, and tower will die. And right here, I thought about poisoning, but then I realized the minions were gonna be on the left side and Hunter splashes, so I could, and they were already damaged from freeze. So Hunter was actually the ideal play here, and he did a beautiful job. And he's also nice against the Lava Hound because I don't have to ice golem to block the pups like I do with Musketeer, I feel, because he sprays all of them. So that was really nice. And now, even though I took a tower and was really aggressive, I'm not down in elixir, which is usually the case. And he tried to counter push with it, but I defended well, so it didn't matter. I missed the tower here, so that was kind of bad, but the poison value was decent, and it made Prince have a little bit more pressure. Kind of a bad log by him, but... and then right here, I remember this Musketeer should have been 1 tile lower so that I didn't give him fireball value, so I screwed up a little bit there. Once again, cycle's a little bit awkward, so we're looking for a freeze here. So I go for the graveyard freeze. He can potentially have a big counter push off this. He did have the log and mega minion, so he's not really up that much. We're princing opposite lane, and unfortunately for us, he screwed up his lava. So I'm gonna poison. Oh, and then a big thing here is when you're using the rule delivery, and like I used a hunter here, try to get the rule delivery to knock the balloon into the hunter so that it does more damage, and I did that there. I don't know that it was necessary in that case, but that's a big tip against Lavaloon, is use your rule delivery. Ideally you kill pups too, but in that situation I didn't have the choice. Use rule delivery to knock the balloon into the hunter so that the hunter does more damage to the balloon. So that was good. Alright, now we'll get into some live battles. Alright. Hand is decent. We can go ice golem. Or roll delivery. I'll cycle on ice golem since he's apt. You can wait until double with this deck though. We'll go hunter behind that. Is that mega? Maybe it's giant. It's giant. I guess E-Drag used to be pretty popular. Hand's a little bit awkward here. If he was a giant other lane, we would actually just go graveyard freeze. Alright, so we're up like 4 elixir because he minored out the other lane while we were already up like 1 elixir. So we go in here. And it's fine to just go for that freeze. Keeps our Musk alive, makes our Musk a little bit of a threat there. We'll let that Dark Prince connect. Actually, we weren't really down that much, so I don't think it would have been terrible since there's a Dark Prince and not a Prince, obviously. Alright, so we'll hunt our first. You don't want a Prince there because then their Prince kills yours really quickly because it goes to the other side of the arena. So we're going to go Prince now, and then if he goes Prince, we can block with Royal Delivery. I'll actually just Musk low, and then I'll Royal Delivery here. Good. And a giant Prince, you don't want to build their push when you're graveyard, so going opposite lane is ideal, which we are. I think I'm still going to freeze this. Nice. Yeah, and now he had to put an E-Drag in the lane that he's not attacking, and that's really expensive, so that was good for us. If he goes giant in front, we can just Royal Delivery. So we're musking left lane so that it both attacks that E-Drag and defends the giant that's about to be played, obviously. Then he plays it. So we're going to Royal Delivery here. We're going to need a defensive freeze. Cut those backwards. Ooh. Well, I should have won right there, but we can still win. That's really unfortunate, man. I played the Ice Golem too early and it didn't pull the Princes, unfortunately. I'm going to attack other lane. Like I said, you don't want to go same lane as the giant, you just build their push. I think this graveyard's pretty decent. Musk here, don't give him, make sure to avoid giving him fireball value. That was perfect. Oh, that miner was kind of bad actually because the tower was kind of shredding it. Oh, I got a lot of king tower damage. Oh, it would have been so nice if I could have. Okay, we can still ice golem here to tank one of the towers. Oh yes, that was perfect. Perfect freeze, perfect freeze. We win. Nice. So I should have won that earlier, but that was good. Yeah, so the biggest key against that deck is don't go same lane, and in beatdown in general, you want to go opposite because if they build their push off the freeze, it doesn't matter how much damage they take, you'll get destroyed in the counter push. So you have to go opposite lane, and even like if they switch lanes, you switch lanes with them. Unless of course the tower's like 500 HP, then yeah, you have to finish it, and then defend for your life. But you'll probably take some damage, if not a lot. Just have to defend one side there. Like I said, quick cycle decks are going to be kind of hard, so this is a pretty difficult matchup. We'll see what we can do though. Prince to get rid of it as fast as possible so tower can help him out. So he's attacking left lane. Against a deck like this, I think going same lane is probably fine. We're probably going to be the one that's going to be counter pushing him more. He has poison, so if he poisons this Musk, we just go in for a graveyard freeze. He's also low on elixir right now. I think we'll go for a graveyard no matter what, but we won't poison if he has poison. He could have only small spells, I don't know. If he bats, I'll probably freeze. I'm going to freeze anyway. Because with tower, I think Musk wins this fight, doesn't it? Yeah. It did. It was decent. It helps me cycle. Hunter, good. Yeah, so going same lane in this matchup feels right. His wall breakers. I guess I'll defend him. The only reason I'm defending him is so that he keeps on going same lane as me. Otherwise, I would ignore the damage. But I want him to go same lane as me. This ice golem's fine. That's fine. So he's gonna spear goblins this. Because he went wallbreaker same time, I feel like it's hard for him to defend this prince. Yep, I was correct. So this is an easy rule delivery. I don't really care about those wall breakers. a little bit too late to with that healthy of a tower. Yeah, I ain't too worried about that. I feel like if he was cycling really efficiently and maybe he had swapped lanes instead of trying to go same lane as me, he could have won this. This roll delivery is going to come down late, isn't it? It got one of them. All right. He lost. Yeah, I like how he acted like that lane was already dead. I have freeze, bro. Yeah, he had small spells and he had spent a bunch of elixir on the opposite lane trying to attack and get that tower low. I screwed up a little bit on my defense. I should have won that easier. But I knew I could freeze there because he didn't have enough spell damage to finish tower. So he had to cycle back to miner and he simply didn't have time. So it worked out, even though it could have been better. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is really fun. It has some awkward cycles, but you just have to play around that and be aware of the fact. Figure out when you need to go same and opposite lane. Usually beat down is opposite and cheaper decks are same lane. Although I find I guess like golem beat down is difficult. And it can depend on cycle, and cycle decks can get you in a bad cycle. So, but everything in between is pretty good. And even those decks are winnable. Matchups are winnable. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.